Hey guys, it's Fida and today we're going to be making Vancho cake. Before, I've made Vancho cake and I've uploaded the recipe so you can go check that out. But this is going to be different. We're going to make it in a frying pan. So if you don't have an oven, you can go ahead and try this out. It's really simple to make in a frying pan and it's super delicious also. Inside we have two different sponge cakes. One is going to be a chocolate sponge cake and the other is going to be a vanilla one. Then we're going to stack them up using chocolate flavored whipped cream and normal whipped cream. Above that, we're going to pour the white chocolate ganache and it's super delicious. The cake layers are really soft, spongy and flavorful. So without any further ado, let's get on to making it. First, we're going to be making the vanilla cake layer. For that, into your large mixing bowl, crack in 2 eggs. Into it, add half a cup of sugar and around a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Next, we need to beat this until it's nice and foamy. It will take around 8 minutes. So keep beating. And the final batter should be double in size, pale in color and thick in consistency, just like this. You just have to beat it on high speed for around 8 minutes and you're gonna get this nice consistency. Then pour in 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. Pour that in and beat it for around 10 to 20 seconds, not more. If you beat it for too much time, then the air bubbles are going to deplete and the cake is not going to be soft. Just randomly beat it up. Just mix the oil with the batter and then set the hand beater aside. We're not going to use the hand beater anymore. We'll be folding the rest of the ingredients in. So for that, sift in the dry ingredients. Here I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. Into it, add in a teaspoon of baking powder and then sift that in. Also pour in half a cup of milk. Don't pour it all at once, just pour in half of it first, then fold it slightly and then you can pour the rest. You don't want any of the air bubbles to deflate, so fold it in really slowly and gently. Finally, I'm going to pour in the rest of the milk, fold it one last time, and the batter is going to be ready. You should get a smooth batter like this. Now I'm going to divide that into 2 different parts. So totally we're going to have 4 cake layers, 2 chocolate cake layers and 2 vanilla cake layers. So you need to divide this batter into 2 parts. Now I've equally divided it. Let's get on to baking this. So you need to put the flame on the lowest as possible. The flame should be the lowest flame or else the bottom part is going to burn. So make sure to put it on the lowest flame and then keep your frying pan on top. I'm using a 10-inch frying pan. Just pour the cake batter and then let it drip towards the sides like this. Make sure you use a non-stick frying pan. As it is non-stick, you don't have to brush it with any oil or anything extra. Now put it on the lowest flame for 7 minutes. Close the lid and let it stay like that. After 7 minutes, you'll see that the bubbles have come on top and it's all baked. Just like that, insert a skewer and see if it is done. Transfer that to a plate. Do the rest of it just in the same way. Here you can see the bottom part is not burned and the top is perfectly done too. Bake the other one just in the same way. Next, we're going to be making the chocolate cake. So there's nothing much different in the chocolate cake. It's exact same thing, but we're going to be adding 2 extra tablespoons of cocoa powder. So crack in the eggs, add in the sugar and the vanilla extract, then beat it until it's nice, thick and foamy. Also pale in color, just like we did before. Then pour in the oil. Repeat that for another 10 to 20 seconds. Do not overbeat it, just like we said before. Once that's done, set the hand beater aside. We're not going to use the hand beater anymore. We're folding in the rest of the ingredients. For that, sift in your dry ingredients. That's 1 cup of flour with 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder and a teaspoon of baking powder. Sift that in and then start folding it. Also pour in half of the milk. Once you've folded that in, pour in the rest of the milk and fold it again. And here the chocolate cake batter is ready. We're going to divide that into 2 bowls. Divide it equally, just eyeball and divide like we did before. That's done. Now put your frying pan onto the flame and pour in the cake batter. Spread it towards the sides. Then close the lid and cook it on the lowest flame for 7 minutes. After 7 minutes, your cake is going to be ready. You can insert a skewer and check if you want. Then just transfer that to your plate. Do the other one just in the same way. So here I have all 4 cake layers ready, 2 vanillas and 2 chocolates. I've let them cool completely and now I'm going to trim off the sides. Take each piece and keep a fitting bowl on top of it. Then cut off the sides just like that. Once that's done, just press on some sugar syrup to make the cake even more soft. The cake is already pretty soft, but just to make it a little bit more softer. Once that's done, let's start assembling it. Here I have the chocolate whipped cream and the vanilla whipped cream. I'm just going to spread some onto the turntable and keep the cake board. Again, keep another dollop of frosting onto the cake board. Keep your first layer of cake, which is going to be the chocolate. On top of the chocolate cake layer, put in the chocolate whipped cream frosting. Spread it towards the sides and just equally spread it all over. And also make sure to wipe off the excess chocolate whipped cream from the sides because we don't want any of the chocolate whipped cream coming in the crumb coat. Next, you have to keep the vanilla cake layer. Align it properly and then put the vanilla frosting on top. That's just the normal whipped cream frosting. Spread it towards the sides evenly, just like that. Put a thick layer of frosting so that it's visible when you cut through the cake. Then just continue until all the cake layers are over. So next cake layer is going to be the chocolate one. Put the chocolate frosting on top, spread it towards the sides and just keep doing the same thing until all the cake layers are over. Now it's the final cake layer, so you need the bottom side up so that it's flat enough. Then keep a nice dollop of frosting and crumb coat the whole cake. For this cake, we just need to crumb coat it. We don't need a very thick layer of frosting because we're going to pour the ganache on top. So all you need to do is a light crumb coat. So once the crumb coat is done, you need to chill it for at least 5 hours before pouring the ganache on top, or else the cream is going to start leaking with the ganache. So once that's completely chilled, move that onto a wire rack like this, so that any excess ganache that's going to drip is going to drip down onto the plate. So here I've made the ganache already. You need 250 grams of white chocolate, 2 tablespoons of butter and 100 grams of whipping cream. Just melt all of this together, microwave it, and then let it cool to room temperature. So here I've cooled the ganache completely. It's not at room temperature, it's just completely cooled. So I'm going to pour the ganache on top of the cake and let it drip towards the sides and cover the whole cake. Now is the decoration part. That's up to you. You can do anything you want as decoration, but I'm just taking some melted dark chocolate and just piping lines on top of the cake like this. In the other direction also. So as my ganache is really cold, the chocolate has also started thickening up. But if you want to be able to style the chocolate on top of the cake like this, you need the ganache to be at room temperature. If it's too cold, then you're not going to be able to style the chocolate like this. So I wanted the cake to be really stiff. That is the reason I've frozen the ganache really well and then pouring it on top. This is my previous video. You can go check that out if you want. Just take off all the excess ganache from the bottom and then transfer it back to the cake board. Then here I have some chocolate decorations which I'm gonna stick it onto the sides. This is optional, you can do it only if you want. You can decorate the cake any other way you want. Then let the cake completely set for at least 3 to 4 hours before cutting it, so that the ganache is gonna be totally set. Then after around 3 to 4 hours, when the cake is completely cooled, you can take it out, cut it and serve it. It's perfect, it's super simple and it's super delicious. I hope everybody tries this recipe out. Right when you cut in through the cake, you'll understand how soft the cake is. It's super simple. It's a really delicious sponge cake recipe. I hope everybody tries this recipe out. If you like this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also ring that notification bell so that you get notifications every time I post a new video. Thanks for watching. Love cooking. Bye bye.